Welcome to the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess. Boom!
Hello. What was that?
Just me going boom.
I know, and then I'm in like a weird. Hello.
You were trying to match my energy, but you've never been able to match my energy.
Never could.
Don't want to.
I really can't.
It's confusing.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's like, what's he so excited about?
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. I need a nap.
I had one of those days yesterday where I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I am so proud of because I went and worked out, which was crappy and boring. But I was like, I'll just do it and then I'll probably feel better. And then I did it and I felt better. And then I booked like 3 comedy shows and I was like, all right, I did good.
Nice. All because you worked out.
Yeah, I wound up having like a really good day yesterday, which is good. Because I was in a bit of a hole, not to jump right into it, but like weird shows this weekend for different reasons.
Yeah.
So Bremerton, I think I told you about it. There was a bachelorette party and a baby.
I love that.
It was, and they were in the front row.
Well, okay. Yes, you told me, but we didn't tell everyone else.
Oh man.
There was a bachelor party, and in the bachelor party, one of the bachelor friends brought a baby.
Bachelorette party.
Right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
And yes.
It'd be funny if it was a bunch of dudes with a baby.
Dude, that'd be great. A bachelorette party. You know, I've never seen a bachelor party at a comedy show. I've only seen bachelorette parties. I've never seen a bachelor party.
Yeah.
At a comedy show. And I get, okay, so sometimes I'm in like a smaller market or whatever, like I'll be in Little Rock. And in Little Rock, there really is, it's way smaller than people think it is.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on. And I, like on a Saturday night, we had a bachelorette party at both shows and they were totally well behaved and super pumped about the show. And I took some pictures with them.
Both shows.
Yeah, there was 2 separate bachelorette parties.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at each show. But I gotta say, like in Bremerton, having a bachelorette party at a comedy show in Bremerton, like Seattle is a ferry ride over, you know, and you can be at a club. But I think they went 4-wheeling. That's what they said. They had like, they went off-roading.
Oh, okay.
And
that's a good time.
Because the lady had mud on her shirt.
Oh, they didn't change.
No, and I saw them driving around looking for parking space, and they were late to the show, and they had the front row like
with just mud everywhere,
set away from them. They weren't that muddy. There was just some mud, like you could see. It was just like spots on the shirt. It wasn't that.
It's funnier to imagine they're dripping.
Yeah, and then I just remember like watching. I'm like, what? And they're not like screaming at each other, but they're like talking, and because of course they are, because it's their bachelorette party,
right? They're excited,
and I just don't get. They're like, and this is the thing that
go to a bar,
like, oh, you're getting married to a man in like a few days. Why don't you just go listen to a different man talk for like 45 minutes?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You think that they should watch him talk for 45 minutes?
No, I think they should go yell and scream
at a bar
and freaking. and like just be rambunctious, like have fun. Like when I worked the door at McCoy's, I was a bouncer for a long time, and I would hear bachelorette parties coming from 2 blocks away.
Yeah,
and there was always this thing where they're like, "Oh, we're like crazy tonight," and I'm like,
"We're woo girls."
Yeah, we're wooing. Is that a thing, woo girls?
Yeah, it's from I'm embarrassed, but How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, okay, but yeah. I'd hear the woo girls.
Yeah. And
they're not any real problems. Like I was more worried about like stabby dudes than woo girls.
Right.
But anyway.
The worst that they're going to do is start crying in the bathroom.
Yeah, there was a moment. And then there's the baby.
The baby. The baby is a bit much. The bachelorette and the chatting and all of that. But like,
yeah.
Because I went to a bachelorette party like postpartum. Postpartum? Wait, yeah, postpartum. And it was like 3 weeks. I thought it was postmortem. And I'm like, that's not right. Postpartum, that's right. And
what is it? What is this? Does anything in the story pertain to the fact that you had a baby 3 weeks before?
Yeah, I went to.
Oh, because you didn't bring your baby.
Jesus fucking Christ! Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought it was something you threw in there.
No.
Go on.
I was like, I had a 3-week-old, and I left that fucker at home. I was like, and so I'm like, you can do it. I was breastfeeding. I do remember I was leaking all over the place.
I have no doubt that there was a reason they brought the baby.
I'm sure the babysitter, maybe she was breastfeeding. Maybe there wasn't a babysitter. Maybe
it wasn't. Here's the thing too, is it wasn't all the way a
fuck.
baby. I shouldn't say. It was more like, I think it was like a year.
Could they walk?
Months.
You said a year and 3 months. What a very specific.
That's just what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think. But this is my thing about this whole situation is like, first off, Bachelorette Party at a comedy show in Bremerton. Weird call.
Yeah.
And then you add on to that, bringing a baby to a Bachelorette Party. Also weird. And that's one of those, it's exponential. It's like 1 + 1 = 3.
Right.
So now I got these loud bachelorettes in the front and there's a baby. And if you don't acknowledge, babies are elephants. And if you do not acknowledge the baby in the room.
I would have just had to grab it and put it on my hip.
Yeah, it was a weird vibe. Me and the baby, I wasn't into the baby. I wasn't into it.
You guys didn't connect.
No, there was this thing. So like, and then
the baby was an asshole.
The baby left for a while. So
Where the hell did the baby go?
There was an adult with it.
Okay.
And
the baby's like, I'm out of here. I can't do this.
I think maybe they were going out and like breastfeeding or something. And then they
that would
came
make
back.
sense. That would make. But if it's like a year old, like you can.
But this is
pump.
Listen to this. They leave with the baby, and I'm like, oh, thank God the baby's gone.
Yeah.
And then they come back with the baby and 3 giant bags of Indian food. And they're like distributing Indian food. And then they're like offering me Indian food while I'm.
Well, that was at least kind.
Yeah. And then I did crowd work with the baby, and it was fine until So it's a bachelorette party, so they got all those little, like, there's like little dicks everywhere. They have they
had a little dick and a little baby who.
This is what happened is that I looked down and there's like this little dick.
Oh no.
And the baby's playing with like the little dick popsicle thing or whatever. Right. and I'm looking down, I'm doing comedy. I'm like, oh cool. The baby's playing with tiny dick. And I'm like, you can just play with your own tiny dick, baby.
We knew where it was going, but it's still.
Yeah. And then the other one that happened, and I actually had a fan message me and remind me of this, but I was talking about the situation. I'm like, the thing about this situation is like, there's no, like, if I do crowd work and it stops working, a lot of times, like, I might be like kind of like aggressive for a second, and I'll be like, anyway, I'm going to move on. Mm-hmm. But like, you can't be aggressive towards a baby. Because I go, babies.
They don't know.
Yeah, I said babies are wholesome and they don't have any. They don't know what the world's like. Like they're so innocent. Mm-hmm. And I said, and I go, but maybe it's time for this baby to wake up. So I looked at the baby and I was like, when you're my age, the oceans will be boiling. And then I was like, you could go get a pan with an egg and then cook it at the ocean in the boiling ocean. And then I was
on
like,
the ocean blue.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, never mind. There won't be chickens anymore.
Oh, wah, wah, wah. Poor little buddy.
Yeah.
It's not their fault that their mom's an idiot.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I'm up on stage and the whole time I'm just like
hungry.
No, I'm doing well. I did a good job. Of course. I did probably like 55 minutes. And 40 minutes of it was jokes. 20 minutes of it was chaos.
Yeah.
While I'm up there, I'm like, this is stressful. This is hard. This is what comedy is like sometimes.
Yeah. And
I got off stage and I go out and I start selling shirts and people are like lined up and every single person is like, dude, that was incredible. Dude. And I'm just like. I had this realization. I don't know. I think you'll appreciate this. like sometimes when I'm on stage doing comedy, like I get high because it's going really well. And sometimes I get high when I get off stage because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm alive.
Right.
Like, do you remember that show we did by the ferry dock in Kingston or whatever?
Yeah.
That was it was like that where I got off stage and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that worked.
Right.
You know,
I got away with it.
I can't believe that this is it. But anyway, it was.
Yeah, I totally
and then
get it.
Centralia was whatever. The thing about Centralia is I performed there too much, so I was trying to do a bunch of new shit, and it was just a weird night. But whatever.
But that's cool. That's cool.
Thanks.
I was in let's see, where Pomegranate is in.
Pomegranate, that's a fruit, not a place.
I know. Where is that? Seattle? I think it's Seattle. I don't know. No, it was in Redmond. And that was really fun. And then did a show with Bernice Yee. And in Commando Island. I think we did.
I thought we did that show together. Or was it? I can't remember whether it was you or Lynette.
Yeah, it was us.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, so she asked me back, and then I was with Derek this time, which was awesome.
Derek Sheen.
Yeah. And
is it still supposed to be clean or whatever? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know Derek could wear clean.
Yeah, I mean, relatively clean.
Did they tell him before the show? Because that was the thing that
I don't know if he got the talking to that we got.
Dude, that was so
the last time that we were there. Yeah, the guy at the door gave it let Sam know that like you better keep your shit together.
And the best part is he was dressed like a Dalmatian. He had like floppy ears
and
like little spots on him. And I was like, I'll do the best I can, Dalmatian.
Because he had seen a video of
yours.
And,
and I think it was a semi-truck thing or something.
Yeah, he was like, that's so funny. But they were, I mean, it's one of those where they're like, oh, you need to keep it clean, but you get there and they're like hooting and hollering.
Yeah, they're hammered.
Yeah,
they're
like,
hammered.
It's BYOB.
It's like, what the hell?
Oh,
man?
Actually, I had stepped out, but during Derek's set, one of the guys, I guess, and he had been talking during my set, not enough that it was like, too bad, but like you could there was somebody was talking, and he was just kind of like responding to shit, and but apparently he had too many edibles and they had to call the ambulance during Derek's set and come and get this guy.
Was he old?
I don't know, but it was really fun. It was a good time.
I'd be so embarrassed if I'm freaking 2 hours later, I'm just like,
when you come down a little bit or come up rather.
Yeah, come up. Yeah. God.
Oh, and then I also did a show in West Seattle with Cozy with Art.
Oh yeah, Art Krug. Yeah, he's funny. He's a good guy.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. He's out of Portland.
He works with Susan Rice a lot. I think he's doing more comedy now, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
So. He told me one of the coolest things about comedy. Well, maybe not cool, but just unexpected. Because he had really slowed down for a long time, and I'm fascinated with that because I don't think I'm in a, obviously not right now, but like I have a hard time seeing myself not doing comedy.
Right.
And he said that he kind of just fell out of love with it at one point, but it sounds like he's back in love with it again because I see him doing that, or he needs money. So,
well, you don't get into comedy because you need money.
You can get back into comedy if you establish yourself. No. It happens. I think it happens. It's like there's folks that I'm sure that
they make more money than me.
Yeah, I mean, shit. There's like folks in the 80s were literally having to perform comedy because they had gotten coke fronted to them by club owners and stuff like that.
Got to pay back the debt.
Yeah, for sure. But that's dope. Yeah, I like Art, man. I should give him a call.
Yeah, it was nice. It was cool. It was him and Zach Fisher, and
nice.
Yeah. It was really good. Cozy always does such good shows.
Yeah, I've been talking. I got a bunch of stuff kind of coming with Cozy coming up. Me and Travis are really close, man. I really like that guy. I don't know. We get along well. He's one of those guys too. I think Cozy Comedy and kind of where they're at and where I was at, it kind of matched up really well. Where I was like a newer headliner, they were like kind of producing newer rooms.
Yeah.
And
him and Marcus.
Yeah, him and Marcus. I always forget about Marcus too, and Marcus's girlfriend.
Oh, everyone
and
always
Travis's
forgets.
wife.
Don't forget about Marcus. Marcus, I love you. I know
yeah.
you are the backbone of Cozy Comedy. I know it.
Yeah.
Like the other day, we were all talking. He like came up to the table.
So funny, man.
He is, and he was like, "Why did?" He was
guy.
like, "Why did you guys stop talking?" He's like, oh.
"Yeah."
Like, Marcus.
I actually booked Marcus on a show because I think he's funny.
Yeah.
And I realized like there's something going on there with Marcus, and he knows it, and everybody else knows it. So I don't feel bad talking about it. But like, I made a joke, like I was just kind of messing with him a little bit.
Yeah.
He was like, because he's hosting this show for me, and he's like, "So when do you want the light? Like, how long do you want to do?" And I was like, I always do this. It's the stupidest joke. I go, I'm going to do 48 minutes and 13 seconds.
Love it.
Depending on if I do that tag or not. And he's like, really? I'm like, no, Marcus, not really. Which cracks me
like,
up.
I asked him, I was just like, he's like, asked me when I want the light. And he was like, is there anything else? And I was like, yeah. How are you? And he was just like, What do you mean? What do you mean?
I love that shit. Yeah, there was one too. I got off stage one time, and it was like one of the better sets that I had in a while. Like I was really kind of in my bag and doing new stuff, doing old stuff, doing like stuff in between, and just all over the place. And I get off there, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good. What do you think, Marcus? Was that? You have a good time?" And he goes, "I saw some new stuff. You did well." I'm like, yeah, buddy, let's go. It's so nice.
Yeah, I like Mark.
Honesty.
He loves our podcast too. So.
Oh, really? You know what's cool is I actually really get along once I figure out. Once I've known, because I've known. Obviously, I've never known anybody exactly like Marcus, but I've known a few in my life.
Yeah.
And I actually get along with them very well. Once you realize that what you have is an extremely honest person.
Yeah.
Because if you know someone's extremely honest, there's questions you don't ask them.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. You don't go up to Marcus and be like, hurt. "Marcus, what do you think about my outfit?" No. Don't.
Unless you really want to know.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's good. And you got the voice. I saw your thing on.
Oh, man.
The comedy voice. Did you get chosen on a team?
Oh, my gosh. So the comedy voice at the Tacoma Comedy Club.
By the way, for folks that don't know, I know we talked about it last episode, but the comedy voice is just like the Voice TV show, except it's with comedians in the Puget Sound at TCC, the Tacoma Comedy Club.
The judges are Sherry Hartman, Jess Everett, and Richie Armani.
That's great.
And then Casey McLean is hosting. And so the way that they did it was there's 20 comedians. We all got 3 minutes. And you come in and they had like a deck of cards.
Damn, 20 comedians, 3 minutes pop. That's a long show.
It was we were it was 2 hours.
Yeah.
But everybody you had to pick, like he like put a deck of cards out and everybody picked a card.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever the card was what number you went up.
Your starting position.
And anybody who knows me knows that I love going first. I like getting in there and
no.
I like getting in, I like getting out, and I'm like, it's done. I don't have to sit there and like stress the entire time because I'm going to. And I got 19.
Ooh,
I got the 9 of spades. There were 20. I got 19.
Yeah. That's
it was
hard.
me and Jeff Bernovich pulling up the rear.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Oh.
I don't. You know what's crazy? I don't think I've been to an open
mic.
I don't think it's been like 2 months since I've been to an open mic.
I feel like it's been longer than that. I used to see you around. I haven't seen you around.
I might go. You know what's funny? I might go to one tonight.
Where?
Oh, I'll find one. It's Wednesday.
I think the only ones are at TCC.
Maybe not tonight.
Go to Bob's tomorrow. Oh wait, no, I have a show tomorrow.
I don't have a show tomorrow.
But anyway, so I was number 19. I took my meds. I did all the things. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. It's 3 fucking minutes. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got up there and I realized that like my first real pop isn't until like a minute 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. I did awful.
Oh no.
I did really, really. I mean, I didn't do.
This was last night?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I just didn't. I don't know why. I don't really know what happened. Usually, I can like identify, like, you know, like, oh, okay, my anxiety got the best of me. Oh, I forgot this, or I did this, but there was just nothing. Like, there was no reason for it. I
think that you
ate shit.
I think you're doing I think having like a competition set. So I could still do it if I needed to, but I have like a competition set. It's not 3 minutes, it's like 6 minutes.
Right.
Because that's what I had to do at Seattle International.
Right.
And I think that sometimes what happens is people are like, oh, I need this set. Well, I'm going to do like my opener and I'll do my closer because those are like my 2 best jokes. And they might be your 2 best jokes, but sometimes they're too long.
Right.
Especially closers, a lot of times are a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And so like having a set that's strategically planned out.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst part is, but that's what I thought I.
Oh, you thought you had?
Yeah. Like I tailored. Like I was like, oh, I got rid of my ums. I got rid of repeating myself. So like, I thought, and then I got up there, and then I just realized that the beginning of my set is longer than, which is not something that you can really realize until like it's silent and you only have a minute and a half.
Especially in spot 19, like at that point, people are like, "Oh, this is the person before the last person." Like this is hard.
They've already done 2 hours of comedy and like, but I got picked.
Oh, there you go.
Yay!
That's cool.
I think you know what? And
Sherry.
Sherry picked me. Sherry should not have picked me. I mean, I'm so grateful that she did, but like, it was not a deserving. It was like one of those. I assume how like football players feel. Like it was a win, but it was ugly. Like it was just by
how many people get picked?
I think there's let's see, each 24 because each.
But how many got picked from last night?
Last night, I think there were only 4 or 5 that got picked.
Wow, that's wild. God, that's brutal. It's this thing where like, I get it. If anybody wants to know, here, I'll pull the curtain back.
Oh.
Comedy competitions they're just a ploy. And it's good, and I love it, and they're fun for the audience. But like, it's this... Comedy's already like competitive. Like all these people are already.
We already hate each other.
Yeah, it's like they're already wanting to get on the next level of shows, and to have it be like, I don't know. It always blows me away.
I think that like I absolutely, like I was talking to Jess Everett about it before the show started, but about like I hate it.
Yeah.
It sucks. Like doing these competitions suck.
Oh, I can't even imagine like somebody like you like specifically. You're basically like you are built to not do a competition. And it's not that you're not funny. It's just that you're not.
My anxiety gets me. Like all day yesterday, I was just like, "Oh, I got that competition tonight. Gotta do this. Don't forget you have your competition tonight. Don't forget you have your Hey, you're gonna fuck it up. Don't forget. What if no one picks you? You got to be prepared for that. But I am glad that I got picked.
I've had to stop myself more than a few times from saying, because social media kind of killed bringer shows.
Yeah.
Because people started calling it out. People don't know if a bringer show is a show where they're like, listen, If you bring 10 people, you can do this show. And they still happen in LA, and they're still around here and there, but very rare do you see that. And I've wanted to say this for a while, and now's the time that I think comedy competitions are basically the new Bringer show. Like, it's taken the place of those shows, because especially comedy competitions where there's an audience vote, there's more. Whenever there's like, oh yeah, whoever cheers the loudest. Like, I remember in the preliminaries of a comedy competition, I'm not going to say which one, and there was somebody there that brought like the 3 or 4 best comedians there. They probably each maybe drew like 3 or 4 people, and that's on them that they can't really draw that well, because they're probably so busy doing comedy that they don't have a fucking social life anymore.
Yep.
But the person that brought 30 people, I think it was their second or third time doing comedy, and they moved on.
Right. Yeah.
And they shouldn't have. And what was funny is that in the next round, they blew their wad getting everybody to the prelims. Nobody came. And oh my God. And that's the thing, is you can be like, oh, that's unfair to the other comedians that didn't make it through in the prelims. Yes, that is true. But what's more unfair is to that comic that brought all those people in the prelims.
Those people telling their comic that they're funny.
And then they move on to the second row, and they eat shit in a way that it's almost, you have to, like, you don't need any
the way
help.
that I ate shit
and
last night.
The same thing. It's like the same thing with bringer shows in these competitions, is you're setting comedians up for failure, not to be not funny, but you're setting them up for failures as human beings a lot of the time. Because comics, you're in a comedy competition, you're all comedians, you're all going up on stage to do comedy, and then all of a sudden, more than half of the folks that are there are going to be told, you're not as good as these 5.
Right.
And there's no way to get past that. And no matter how much these higher ups in comedy say, they're like, oh, well, you got to remember, like, it's not it. I've been told by people running comedy competitions to not look at it like a comedy competition.
Not a competition.
It's not a competition. This is about getting experience.
Well, and that's the thing, is like, that's what I keep reminding myself, is like, it's not, it isn't about winning or losing. You have to do it. It's not, though, because you have to do it. Like, if you don't put yourself out there, people aren't going to think that you want to do comedy.
You don't need to do a competition to put yourself out there. Like, they've well,
if you want to put yourself out there in front of these particular people, this is an avenue to do that.
But I don't think there's anything that special about the opportunities that competitions provide that you wouldn't get at like a well-promoted, well-booked show. Like the model that the clubs work under right now, where you go into the host rotation, and then maybe you get good at hosting, and then you're doing your little shows on the side, your book thing. And this is for people that work clubs, that I've heard about them on TV. You get to a point where all of a sudden, like, maybe you're a club feature at the big club in town. Maybe you've headlined a bar show. Maybe you did 45 minutes at a bar show, but now you're ready to do 25 minutes. Like, that model has problems.
Yeah.
However, there's no part of a comedy competition that adds to that equation to develop new comedians.
Yeah.
Like, all it is, like, it's nothing but marketing. On the producer's side, it's nothing but great marketing. And for the comedians, it's going to be painful.
Yeah. It's going to hurt. Well, and that was the thing, like, that was literally like part of my anxiety yesterday, was like, okay, you're going to be judged tonight. There are 3 of your peers who are absolutely going to judge me.
And it's so crazy they throw that in too. It's
and they're like,
oh yeah, there's these 3 people that you know.
Yes, like, that's the funniest part. The funniest part was that they made them cover their faces, so that they couldn't see who the comedians were, as if we all don't know each other. Like, I was like, I can recognize y'all from your shoes.
I love both these people a great deal, but there are significant differences between Sherry Hardman and Ricky Armani. Like, it's very easy to tell. Richie, God, I call him Ricky. Richie, you know what I mean? Like
oh man. Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Well, I do like that the judges are very different. Like Jess is very different than Sherry. Sherry is very different than Richie. And
I worked with Jess in Centralia. We had a good time.
Oh yeah.
Saturday.
Oh yeah. I saw that poster.
Yeah. Me and
Jess is so funny.
Oh yeah. Jess is great. And Jess is a great person too.
Yeah. We had a really nice chat just because I connect with Jess like because we both have like that like kind of anxious energy and we were just talking about how much we hate comedy.
I wish you could see Kate Anderson sometime because she does what you and Jess do, but even to like another level beyond. Yeah, she's really good at it. That soft sell. And so, you know, what's cool is Tori Ward in Portland.
Tori.
Yeah, she's kind of got the same.
She's in, I think she's in
Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to talk to her. She sent me a message. I'm supposed to talk to her. I'll figure it out. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I kind of get on this soapbox. Like I know that there is benefits to doing it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a rite of passage. I feel like it's, I don't expect anything from it. Like I really wanted to be picked just because of my like ego.
Oh yeah.
But like as far as getting any further, I don't think so. But what I do want to tighten up my competition set.
Yeah.
I do want to figure out like I would love to work with Sherry. Sherry and I are very, very different.
Yeah.
Like and so
I like that you guys get along. That makes me happy.
Yeah. And if Sherry like could help me like punch stuff up and be better, like I absolutely will take that opportunity.
Yeah. You know, this stuff with competitions and I did very well in a competition. I got second place in Seattle International and I swept
which is like the biggest
I swept the preliminaries and almost swept the semis where I got first place 5 nights in a row out of 16 comics.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, but you want to know when that was going on, I was not doing well.
Right.
I was a mess. I was a mess.
Because of the competition? Because it was like...
No, because like...
There was other stuff going on.
No, there's like I love comedians. I really do. And part of me loving comedians is having good boundaries with comedians. And I do kind of like, I'm hesitant to make friends with brand new comedians because like, I don't have a lot of time. There's so many comics, but like I really do love comedians. And it's like this thing where when I'm up there and it's a competition, like, I'm like, I want to like, I can't help but become aggressive. Yeah. Like it brings out a part of me that I'm not into and it doesn't need to exist in comedy.
Oh, I wish I had that. I want some of that. I'm like, I'm a competitor. I want to win. No, I just want to get to the second. See, I think that's I need to figure out how to be like more like that. I think if I had,
you need more reps.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is. You know, somebody has sent me a video and I actually watched it. It's a friend of mine from Eureka. We hung out. We went swimming in the river when I was down there with Vanessa. And she sent me a video. And there's some things that she's doing that I think are funny. There's some concepts that are funny. But it's the same issue that every new comic has, and it's like word economy and like style stuff. And the only way to do that is to just keep doing comedy. And I was told the same thing because I used to do that with headliners and stuff because I was always looking for like a shortcut or something. Like, hey, what if I do this or do this? Or like, no. Like just keep doing comedy. Like just keep going and you figure that stuff out. And it's the same thing with you and with me too. Like I still have like, the more you do comedy, the more you see how this shit repeats over and over again. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's like you know, on Bremerton with that baby. Yeah. It's not my first baby. Right. Not my first bachelorette party.
Won't be your last.
Yeah, not my first loud, obnoxious crowd.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And this isn't the first time that I bombed at a comedy competition.
Yeah.
And it won't be the last.
Yeah.
I do not do well in these. I don't do well.
It's hard.
It's so hard. Yeah, but hard. I do think last night taught me taught me a good lesson because it was real fucking quiet for the first minute. And when you only have 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoops. You know who did, I will say that who did amazing was B. White, Brandon.
Good.
He got
Go get him, Brandon.
He's the only person who
got all 3
three
judges.
lights.
Yeah, I could see that. He's been getting feature work and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Brandon's doing good. Also, that's how you act off stage, if people are wondering, is be like Brandon.
Yeah.
Like, nothing but positivity. Not getting involved in any like dumb beefs or whatever.
Brandon, no, we call that, Brandon is very good about keeping it in the group chat.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, stop it.
Good job, Brandon.
Brandon did great.
We should get him in here. That'd be fun.
I was like, fuck you, Brandon, you piece of shit. God damn it. Ah, good job. But he did scare me because if you go over 3 minutes, that they're like cutting mics last night.
Oh yeah.
And you
see it like 2:55 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked down and I was at 2:45.
I saw.
And I was like,
my
done.
god, some of the stuff. Like if people don't know, the competition that we're the Seattle International Comedy Competition is. I don't know if it's the biggest one in the country. It's a big one though.
It's yes.
And
when you Google comedy competitions,
yeah, like Mitch Hedberg won it. And
it's very important.
yeah, and Rory Scovel got second place one time. So that's what I did.
I just want to get in.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. God damn it. I just realized I probably shouldn't. I'm going to owe
Congratulations.
Zach. You got to take that part out. I'm sorry, dude. I don't think I should have said that.
Did they already pick people? Yeah. I just applied literally last week, fuckers.
They already know some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. They already know. Well, it's just like,
Okay.
it's just like,
But we got to move on. We got to stop talking
No,
about it.
I'm saying it's just like, cause like in my head, the reality is like the judges know all of the comedians that are auditioning. So they kind of have an idea of like who they're going to pick.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got picked. I'm very excited. Last night I did not feel good about it. I was definitely like beating my own ass and like just like
you got picked for a comedy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that. Okay, good. Because I just want to make sure because we do. I don't think it's been announced yet, and I should.
Yeah, I know. We're not talking about that anymore.
No, but I got to tell Zach.
Zach already knows. We've moved on.
Okay,
I'm moving on.
Okay,
I'm trying to piece this together so Zach doesn't have to fucking do all this work.
I know.
And you keep talking about it.
I'm sorry.
Just move on.
I'm trying.
But regardless of how shitty I did last night, I got on October 4th and 5th, I am hosting for Jay Moore.
Oh, that's fun.
At TCC.
You're doing a lot of stuff for Bark. That's good. I remember you were worried at one point.
I'm always worried.
That maybe Bark and you were on different wavelengths, but it seems like they love you quite a lot. Congratulations.
Always.
And good job. I don't know if Bark people listen to this or not. I've heard that they do. And that's really cool. That's dope because Jess is a good comic and a good person.
I actually, I'm doing... Yeah, I have Jay Moore, and it's 4 shows at the big club, and then the very next weekend I have at the little club or Rob Little, I'm hosting. So and then I just have to remember that if I don't, I'm not going to get any TCC gigs for a long time because I got 2 in a row, and so I just have to be okay.
I'm
with
surprised because you've done Spokane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would bet that if you keep kind of climbing up the ranks and stuff, you'll start getting work at the other clubs too.
I hope so.
Like they have a lot of clubs around the country. It's really interesting.
I hope so.
They have a really good model and a really easy path for development because if you get to a point where they can do it, they'll put you at those other clubs and then you're not overexposed.
Right. Yeah. One of the most amazing things that they do is they give you a discount card.
I've heard about this. You get like
25. So depending upon like how much work you've done for the club, like in dollar amount, like you get either you're like a silver member or like a gold member. And so like if you buy stuff, you get like 25% off or you get 50% off. But I just love it because they literally gave me a laminated card.
Yeah.
That says like Jess Anderson, comedian.
And that goes at any Bark club.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I'm like, I just love it. I keep it in my wallet.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody asks me if I'm a real comedian.
People ask sometimes like what the comedy landscape looks like, and it's crazy that there is somebody who owns so many comedy clubs that it makes sense to have like a loyalty program, not for customers but for the comedians working there. Like that just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that because I like one of my favorite movies growing up was Mafia that Jay Moore was in.
And, you told me about that.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. Like,
that's rad.
Yeah,
that's rad.
So, and I feel like that's one for the resume. You know, he's a big deal in the comedy world.
Yeah, he does. So. He does really well. Yeah, I know because I know his name. And I can half picture his face because I think he's a big sports guy too.
Yeah, he is.
That's what I thought. That's why I know.
Yeah,
I'm so bad at comedians.
But he's a comedian who's been around for a long time, and he's
got like blonde hair, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jay Moore. Yeah,
you're picturing the right guy.
I am.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, is your shirt supposed to be tie dyed, right?
No, it's a defect. There are it's like printing stuff that goes wrong. I got my kids those too. So, you know what's funny? I actually people ask me the shirts and stuff like that. So, I've been getting shirts from KJR Print, my friend Kyle.
Yeah.
For forever. He's the only shirt person I've ever worked with.
And there's a defect, and he was just
there's
like,
defects
sorry,
sometimes. No, they just give them to me. He just gives them to me for free.
Oh, okay. I think it looks kind of cool.
I know it is kind of cool. No, there is. Let me think. We figured it out the other day that over the last 2 years, basically I'm getting about 1,500 shirts a year, and that's about how many shirts. So I'm selling about 1,500 shirts a year.
Dang.
So maybe 3,000 shirts over the last 2 years. So, yeah, and he does a great job. So.
Except on this one.
Yeah. On this one. It's just fun. The other thing, I had fans that came out in Bremerton and they brought me more tie-dye because people realized that
nice. I was wondering because I'm
really like I have new tie-dyed shirts.
I was gonna say you have some that are tie-dyed.
I know, but now I have 4 really cool tie-dyed shirts.
Obviously.
One that I made. I want to make another tie-dyed shirt. I like making them too.
That's fun.
What a
fun campy activity.
Yeah, it's good.
That's fun. Jesus Christ. Okay. Did you sent me a text that said good morning? Good morning.
Mm-hmm. I was outside. Are we gonna do the news? Did you find one?
Yeah. Well, okay, I found a couple, but they're not they're like short. So
I'm curious.
Okay.
You know what I love though is that we did 42 minutes
without it. Thank God.
It's crazy.
All right. Well, this one reminded me of you. This is just a funny. You can't look.
Oh, sorry. You shouldn't put it down on the table.
Okay. It's not funny.
Oh no, it's brutal, isn't it?
It's not. It's just a little. Okay. It took police more than a month after Barry died to seal off his flat after a postmortem revealed that he died from a stab wound, during which some time evidence had lost. It come to find out, Barry died in a kitchen mishap after accidentally stabbing himself while trying to separate frozen burgers with a knife.
What? I could totally see that happening. Like if you were like holding him and you're like
trying to do this. Oh my God.
Oh my God. And then it went through and he stabbed himself.
He died. And so that reminded me of you. And so I thought,
that's not how I'm going to die.
No, I don't think you're going to die like that. I mean,
I could.
I
won't now.
I feel like, you know now.
Now I won't.
Just not to do that.
Yeah. From now on, whenever the burgers are stuck together, I'm going to stop doing that.
Well, you just crack them on the table.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes that doesn't work though.
Obvious. Yeah. Sometimes you got to take a knife to them and just, yeah.
You know what is funny is that is a very short story. And I liked it. I think you did good.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I have more. I have another one.
Okay.
Okay. This one is really exciting. There's a Chinese Jew. A Chinese Jew? What? No.
God damn it! I should have known.
Zach.
I should have known. No. Leave that up. Chinese Jew.
A Chinese zoo admits that their pandas are just painted dogs.
This. Yeah, I saw that, and I love it. And I'm actually way more into zoos.
Oh my gosh, you gotta post that picture, Zach, of look at that little panda.
Yeah, I'm way more into zoos, fraud zoos. Those are my kind of zoos.
That's part. I would just want to give that little panda a hug.
Yeah,
I just want to kiss it.
Take him for a walk.
Yeah.
Teach him to roll over and sit down.
And then lastly, sadly, the Russian beluga spy whale has tragically been found dead.
Spy whale?
Spy whale. Yeah.
I do actually know a little bit about
the spy whale.
No, I know about. So there's like
this beluga whale.
Well, the Navy actually legit has animals like dolphins and stuff.
Yeah,
that they use to they find mines and
right.
they and I'm fascinated.
This
by
beluga
that.
was apparently swimming in the ocean, and they found it strapped with like a little camera and things. It was definitely a little spy whale, but then it died, and it someone on Reddit was and it had two wounds to the head.
Really, somebody killed it?
Probably.
Oh man.
Well, they're doing an autopsy right now.
Oh yeah.
Of they had to get a crane, and because they just found the carcass, and
belugas are weird whales too, because they used to have belugas at the zoo in Tacoma.
Really?
They had them for a long time, and it was always they're weird. They're weird whales.
Why?
Because they're totally white.
Okay.
And
what's wrong with that, Sam?
They don't have a lot of blubber, and you can see their bones under their skin.
Because they look like little mermaids. You can see their little legs.
You can see stuff, and it's I don't know. I remember as a kid I was weirded out by them, and then also just whales in captivity, and it was a small tank. And it's funny because all the zoos, they don't want to be zoos anymore. They want to be oh no, this is free range. These animals
free range
and
zoo.
it's no, it's not. It's a zoo. And so I think there's a certain level of intelligence that an animal has, at which case a zoo becomes crueler. The smarter an animal is, the more cruel. I don't really care. They have meerkats, and I'm like they don't know they're in a zoo. They're just this is a small desert.
Right. They're fine.
Yeah, they're free mealworms.
But a dolphin is in there
dolphins and elephants. And I think the last elephant died. They don't have elephants now. Oh. Do you know?
Well, thank God.
The elephants here's a news story for you.
Okay.
The elephants at the Point Defiance Zoo. It was a no-touch elephant. So have you ever noticed that they have those? You've been to the Tacoma Zoo, right?
Yeah.
So have you noticed that the elephant enclosure, it has those big bars everywhere, and there's those lines on the floor?
Right.
Those lines mark how far their trunk can reach, because those elephants were all involved in incidents. At a couple of them were from a circus, and another one is from a zoo. And I don't think any of them killed anybody, but they had all hurt people.
Aww.
Yeah, they had all lost their elephant shit on somebody.
Yeah, because you're just fucking over it.
Yeah, they're over it. And so all those elephants, and so basically they went about their life without like ever being near enough to a human to, yeah.
I love elephants.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. But I got some jokes. You want to do some jokes?
You don't like beluga whales because they have legs. You could see evolution happening. You don't like it.
I don't know why. I don't know. Because when I was growing up, I went fishing with my dad out in the Straits, and we used to see whales all the time, especially like gray whales, and they're so cool and so big.
Well, you don't fuck with the white ones.
No, beluga whales are weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm being.
They're also spies.
Yeah, some of them are spies. I don't know about these jokes. I got jokes.
I got jokes in different area codes.
It's not okay.
Joke number 1. They should have a Wheel of Fortune literate edition. And people will be like, I'll take one of those. That's like 2 circles on top of each other with the line on the side.
I really envision this in my mind, like a literate Wheel of Fortune. And then like they basically just have to keep picking stuff.
Well,
and then at the end, there's like no more, like all the letters are filled up on the thing and they're just like,
I can't.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh.
No, everything has to be spelled phonetically.
Yeah. I just like them having to pick all the letters like, that one that's like 2 lines with a little line in between.
Do illiterate people not know?
And they're like, an H? And they're like, yeah, H.
Maybe? Do you have any?
I know this is a sad story, but a true story of there was, when I worked at a homeless shelter, there was a young man and he was illiterate and he was getting tied into like, he wanted to be part of like gang stuff in Tacoma and it wasn't going to work out for him because he was from Idaho.
Because he was illiterate.
No, there's plenty of illiterate people in gangs. There's illiterate people everywhere.
So maybe you had to write an essay to get him.
No, but the thing is that he really wanted to do graffiti, but he was like illiterate.
Yeah.
And the only words he could write was like, he knew how to write sex because I think he was trying to be naughty or whatever in school. Mm-hmm. And so he would write like, but he would try to do graffiti, but he didn't know like how letters work. So he would just make these weird like symbols and shit. It looked like hieroglyphics.
Jesus.
It was so strange.
Is that what illiterate is?
I think there's different levels of it. Yeah, I think there's folks that don't know what the letters are called. I mean, I don't know. I've known a few people. I worked for a guy in the Forest Service who was basically illiterate. Like
my dad was illiterate.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
it's
he
not
couldn't read
like
and write. Yeah, he would have his prison mates write the letters for him.
Oh, that's sweet. They could just really write
Isn't
whatever
that
they
nice?
wanted to, which is dangerous.
There's always like a picture of a rose drawn in there in pencil.
Yeah.
Of course. Prisoners love roses.
Yeah.
Joke number 2. Platypus have the characteristics of a mammal, a bird, a reptile, and myself. Like, who am I really?
This one's really dumb.
What the fuck?
I wrote that. I was walking my dog this morning.
Okay. I don't even that's
no, it's
probably the worst.
No, it's not the worst one I've ever done.
It is definitely. What?
No, it's like platypuses, they're like kind of a reptile, kind of a bird, kind of a mammal. And I'm like, same as me. Like,
oh, and see.
Who am I?
Okay. Yeah. You didn't say, okay. All right. Anyway, nobody likes bestiality except for the people who do like bestiality. Bestiality.
I like that one. It's it's simple and cute.
What would a bestialic, a bestiologist?
You can just call them dog fuckers.
Gross. Joke number 4. They put the rocks by the freeway on ramps to stop homeless people from camping. If you ask me, I think it's going to backfire. You're just going to wind up with a bunch of degenerate geologists.
Have you seen that in Olympia?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They're putting up all the rocks.
Well,
we've done it again, my friends.
episode
365.
It is not. We don't know. What episode is it?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Zach. Who knows? Zach knows.
I apologize for the cut that you're gonna have.
Yeah, it's okay. But
Also, I gotta talk to Zach. You have Zach's number too, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I should have it. Okay. Thank you for listening / watching the Tarp Report. Like and subscribe. We'd like to keep this podcast ad free.
Oh my gosh! Could you imagine if we had ads?
Yeah. And,
other than the ones that we create ourselves.
that we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have some shirts coming. I think we should do some print on demand.
Yeah.
I think we should make a shirt.
I think
and
that
people
would be
can
awesome.
get a shirt, and that'd be fun. And outside of that, good job.
Yep. Think
That
that's
was
it.
fun. Bye.
Bye.